Hey! Today's video, we are going to be talking about creating and reading histograms. So, just as a reminder, a histogram looks similar to a bar graph, but the bars are actually touching one another, so that's really the main difference between them. And a histogram is covering a value or a range of numbers. All right, so another graph that is similar to the dot plot is called a histogram. And this type of graph helps you to see how many pieces of data are within each interval, such as between the 0 and 10 seconds, and each interval is called a bin. So if you look at the data over here on the left-hand side, right here, what we're looking at, that's our values that have been given to us, and we're going to drop them into the table with nothing in there and fill in those values. So I'm going to fill in those values of the time as 0 to 9, 10 to 19, 20 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 to 49. Okay? And actually, just looking at this, I have already made a mistake. So my mistake is that I want to, let me get rid of all these. I want to look at what's my smallest number and what's my largest number. Okay, so when I do that, 34 is my smallest number, and then therefore my largest number looks like it's 65. Okay, approximately there. So again, I'm going to do 30 to 39 instead, 40 to 49, 50 to 59, 60 to 69, and 70 to 79. Okay, so then the frequency is we're just going to mark off what's there. So going through, so I have 45, 34, 57, just marking them off where they fall. So 72 is actually my biggest number, but I was able to figure that out through this. So 41, 58, 63. This video is full of all sorts of mistakes. So I'm human. It's all right. 65, 55, and 62. Okay? So then the next thing would be that I would create these bars on my graph. So if I go over to the 30 to 39, my frequency 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So if I go up here approximately right there is going to be my 30 to 39. 40 to 49 is going to go up to 3, and it's going to be approximately right there. And then 50 to 59 is going to be about the same. And then 60 to 69 is going to go up 1. And then 70 to 79 is right there. Okay? So that would be my histogram. And I would make sure to write a title with it, whatever the data represents. All right, now looking at our next example, you can see I have a stem and leaf plot that has been given to me, which makes making a histogram, I think, one of the easier things to be able to do. Okay, so I'm just going to fill in my bottom here with these values because I'm going to have them connecting. Okay, and actually it looks like I am one short here. I should have one more bar going right there, and I'm going to change the color of my pen so that we don't get it confused with that. Okay, so if I go to 30, so I have, remember the 3 with the 1 is 31. My frequency 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and we write frequency right there. Okay. Okay, so 31 is on there twice, so 30 to 40. So I'm going to make my bar right here. Okay. And then I have 43 and 47, so that's also going to be 2. And then 50 I have none, and then I go up to 60 where I end up with 3. So I have that for my bar graph, and then 70, which is 1. Okay, so what I can do is just fill these in so that it stands out with what I have. It's not, I don't have to, but you notice that the histogram, each of the bars are touching. Okay. All right, here's another example, again using a stem and leaf plot. Okay, so I have 0, 10 is going to be here, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 80. Okay, so I should have enough space there. I'm just going to have my frequency 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, not always are your intervals need to be 10. You can go by 5, you can go by 8. You just want to make sure your numbering is consistent with it. That would be a common flaw or a common mistake with a histogram. So you want to just make sure your numbering is consistent. Okay, so now when I go through this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So my first one is going to go all the way up to there. It's testing my straightness. Okay. Then I have my next one, my 10s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So right there. And my 20s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again. My 30s is going to be 9. So I just use that based off of what I had for the previous one. 40s, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have our 50s, which is going to be 5. And then finally we're at the 60s, which is 2. Okay? So when I'm labeling this, frequency is going to be on the side, and I would say frequency is also a common thing with a histogram. And then I'm just going to label the bottom as age, and then we want to give it a title, just depending on what our information is giving us. And in this one, that's not really giving us much information. There should be some sort of word problem with it. Okay, so that should be, I'm just going to fill these in so you can see them. Otherwise else there's a lot of white on my screen, so it's hard to notice where are the numbers actually at, or where are the bars at. And they're touching beautifully. And look at that fascinating artwork that I've just created. I know. All right, so this question now is just a little bit different. It's given us the histogram. Now we have to understand how to read it. Okay, so I have a couple questions over here to answer, and there's many different questions that you can get with a histogram. But hopefully this will kind of give you an idea on how to answer those. And you notice my interval is a little bit different here as well, as it's going by 5s instead of 10s, which is what my other examples were going through. All right, so the question asks how many entries are in this histogram. So we don't know what exactly this is talking about, but our entries here, so I have 3 here, and then I have 7 here. This looks like 10 to me, and then that's a 4 and 1. So if I wanted to figure out how many entries I have, I would add all of those up. So 3 plus 7 plus 10 plus 4 plus 1. So 10 plus 10 plus 5, which gives me 25 entries. Okay? Then going on to the next question, it says which entry has the fewest occurrences. So I want to look at which one has is the shortest bar or the smallest bar. Okay? And that would be this range right here. So we would say 35 to 40. If you said 36 to 40, you would not be wrong. Also, if you said 35 to 39, you would not be wrong. We don't know exactly which way they're going with the numbering. Any of those three would absolutely be okay. Okay? All right, so that concludes this long video. My apologies. And but if there's any questions you have, please feel free to go back and watch the video and pause it where you need to. All right, bye.